Hello, everybody. My name is John Marshall, and I'm happy to welcome you here to my Patreon page. If you haven't been here before, we have some history behind us, doing all sorts of frame drumming and some other instruments. And today we're introducing perhaps the most popular drum, hand drum that is, I would venture to say, in the entire musical world right now. When people think of hand drumming, they often think of the djembe drum. And so just quickly, this is a djembe. This is made of, I believe this is Aranca wood, I'm not sure, but it's an exotic wood for us here in the US. Wouldn't be able to find this wood easily. A good rule of thumb is to, when you're kind of checking out a djembe, is to find one that's high in pitch and one that's heavy. Those are two good yardsticks to remember. And if you are interested in purchasing a drum, you definitely get in touch with me and I can give you some more specific comments about that procedure. Notwithstanding, this is a small djembe, and I've had it for many years. It probably could use a little tightening right now. The good drums are made from all one piece of wood, which is a blessed object traditionally, and long before the wood becomes a drum, of course it's a tree, and often libations and well wishes are placed before the tree, even before it's cut and hewn into a drum. The skin is goat, and this lacing is just regular nylon rope in this case. Often the drums have nice elaborate carving, and they're very satisfying to play. Now, position-wise, there are some different alternatives. Of course, you could play it standing up, and you would then have a strap, and it would, you put it over you and play that way with the drum between your legs. Often, it's played in the seated position like this, and if you look carefully, you'll notice that the drum is not turned this way. That's very important because ergonomically that's not going to work with your hand, but turned this way, okay? So this little video is for those of you who've always admired a djembe drum and, oh, I want to try that out. This is the place to start. So I'm going to give you some very basic strokes to utilize. Especially now when we're facing such challenging times, this is the perfect time to start an instrument and start learning some basics online and get your instrument playing going, your djembe playing. Is the absolute perfect time for that, and it will treat both your head and your heart. So let's begin. The drum is in this position, held tightly with my legs. You do not have to have the drum on the floor. In other words, you don't have to have the outer lip here on the floor. However, if the drum is heavy, you can. But the main thing is the drum doesn't want to be flat on the ground because it's not a great sound. Just don't get a good full sound. The room for the drum is always an integral part of playing the djembe. If there's a lot of objects in the room and you're near a chair, you might get a very tight sound. You might not get a very resonant sound. So once you have your drum, it might be a good idea to move it around the room and see the most resonant place. Okay, so the drum is tilted away from me. I like to cross my legs, and a big part of any musical instrument, getting a good sound on a musical instrument is sitting up straight. So you want to have your butt bones at the edge of the chair if you can. You don't want to be slouched back. You want to have your back straight and your backside towards the front of the chair if you're in a chair. Now, this is not a drum necessarily that uses lots of hinge work with the wrist. Not so much that. Now, I say so much because there are always people who are inventing different strokes for djembe. I mean, I've seen people play it Middle Eastern style with the fingers. Completely unorthodox and would never be found in West Africa like that. However, traditionally. However, I'm sure there's some players in West Africa or all over the world who like to play their djembe in that position. So I'm not ruling anything out, but traditionally speaking, the wrist is not going to hinge. So you want to have your forearms and your wrist pretty straight. So it's very much this kind of of a positioning, not this, not hinged wrist, more straight arm and forearm. Now, there are many different sounds on a djembe, yeah? I mean, from lows to highs. I mean, everywhere on the drum you could find a different spot. But we're gonna just dial into a few here. Some lows, and then some highs, and then some very high sharp sounds, and then some muted sounds. So let's start. The first stroke's going to be the bass, and you want to think of your hand here, the outline of your hand. So the whole outline of your hand up into your fingers, up, down this way, even up into your wrist a little bit, about up to here, are going to be utilized. So you don't want your hand to be flat or stiff. You want it to be cupped, not this, okay? Like you were going to have a cup of water, you know, a sip of water from a mountain stream. Nice and cupped, okay? Keep your fingers loosely together. They don't have to be tight, and even if they're a little bit spread, as long as the cup is there, that's okay. You want to select a spot on the drum that's a little off center. Use your strong hand, right? Come up this way and strike the drum with a graceful movement, right? It's got to be graceful. What you don't want is jerky movements. You know, just like if you're raking the lawn, you don't want to be jerky movements. You want to be graceful. You won't get tired that way. Same way with this drum here. So you're going to take your hand with the cup here, on your strong hand, strike it, and then pull it off the drum. So it's really, think of it as a hot stove. You're going to strike it and pull it off. Like that. This is the bass tone. Let's do 4 together. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your bass tone. In the western part of Africa, this is referred to as goon. It's spelled G-U-N if you see it written, but it's pronounced goon. And it sounds like what it is. This is not pip. You don't make this sound, pip. No, it's goon. Ooh, that low sound, right? That's what the name of the stroke is. These are called Nigerian Yoruban drum consonants. That's how I learned them. So goon is your strong hand bass. If you were left-handed, it would still be goon. If you were right-handed, it would be goon. So your strong hand is the goon. Goon stroke with the strong hand. The counterpart is called doon, and that's also a bass, and everything that applied to this hand is going to apply to this hand. So you've got doon. It feels entirely different because it's your weaker hand. Doon, 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 doon. Let's do 4 of those together. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Now, goon, doon, goon, doon. Ready? Go. Ready? Do it again on your own. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good job. I'll do it, then you do it. One more. Excellent, the bass tones. Okay, now let's try to get some edge tones. Remove your weak hand from the process at the moment. Just lightly put your strong hand in the middle of the drum, and please trace it right across the drum till you come right over the edge. Let's do that again. You start in the middle, bring it right across like this, and right over. So when I mean right over, your hand has come to this position. Can you see this? Right over like that. Yeah, one more time. Now the essential part. These fingers on top of the drum have to raise, okay? So where I'm feeling the skin right now, is right here, okay? That's your spot, yeah? So here again, my fingers are raised, not down, they're up. I've got them raised, and then drop all your words, right? Nice and relaxed. You can keep them together still, but make them relaxed. This won't work. Rigidity is no good. Relax, right? Again, if you are to open up your fingers a little bit for this stroke, it's okay. I do that all the time. You know, it's good to keep them closer together, but if you open them up here and there, it's all right. Still give you your tone. So for a conga drum, this would be called tone. We're going to stick with the Yoruban drum consonants, and the strong hand is going to be played go. Going to be called go, G-O, go. We'll strike the edge right here, and then we're going to bounce back. By the way, your thumbs want to get a ticket out of here right now, because if they come down and hit this metal rim here, you'll remember it. I mean, it's not to scare you, but it can give you a little bone bruise. So I want you not to get hurt. So take your thumbs out of the picture. So if we get both of our hands in position, you can see this little triangle, and that's going to help you. Remember, not down, up a little bit. Not down, up. Again, the same principle applies to down here in the middle of the drum with getting your hand off. We're going to strike right here, and our hand flies off. Again, the stove is real hot now, so don't linger. Get your hand off. The go stroke. If you look real closely, you can see that my fingers are bouncing a little. That means that I'm relaxed. It should be that way. Go, go, go. I'm going to do 4 of them, and I want you to do 4. Again. Excellent. That's the go stroke. What's the difference between goon and go? Listen. You hear the low sound and then the high sound, right? Now, the counterpart. We can do, but spelled D-O. G-O-D-O. Same thing exactly. Got the idea? 4 from me. So let me do that again, please. Once again. Now repeat after me. Go, do, go, do, go. Go, do, go, do, go. Now this time, let's say it together. Go, do, go, do, go. Go, do, go, do, go. Go, do, go, do, go. Go, do, go. Go, do, go. Go, do, go, do, go, do. Go, do, go, do. Go, do, go, do. Go, do, goon. Go, do, goon, doon. So you can begin to put together sentences and phrases just with go, do, goon, doon. These are the 4 strokes that you really need to master in your early days. As you get going in your playing, you're going to want to learn to do these slack tones. And so we'll look at that. So instead of having your hand be in the go position here, you're going to pull the entire hand upwards on this angle. Take a look, right? Look, here's the head of the drum. Here was go, yeah. Now we're going to go further up in the angle. Angle was here before, now we're raising up. Before, the sound is choked, but now, go, slap. Right? So you've got this slapping sound. I'm striking about here now. Rather than here, I'm letting my hand come down here, and the fingers are just pulling down. Physics is pulling them down. Now, you can have some space now in the fingers. Doesn't have to be quite as tight as before, so now you can have a little space. The Yoruban term for this, the strong hand, excuse me, not just this, the strong hand, is pa, P-A, pa, sounds like it, a slap. Pa, pa, pa. Doesn't have to be hugely loud, it can be a soft slap. Pa, 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 go, pa, go, pa, go, pa. Yeah? Same stroke on the weak hand is called ta, T-A. So the slaps, pata, 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 pata. So for you newbies, a good exercise, pata, pata, go, do, goon, doon. So you're at the top of the ladder, you come down to the middle sound, and then you come down to the low sound. So you've got pata, pata, go, do, goon, doon. Go the other way. Goon, doon, go, do, pata, pata. Got it? That's a great exercise. Of course, you could go longer. Goon, doon, go, do, pata, 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 pata. Do it as long as you want. Okay. Those are your main strokes. I'm going to give you a few more, and then I want you to go off and practice these. Okay. So what I'm going to give you now is kind of more of an Afro-Cuban accent here, and we're going to look at just a closed stroke. And like a conguero would play a nice, just closed stroke down on the drum. This, when I say closed, I don't mean this. Ooh, like off the stove. The stove is cooled down. You can leave your hand there. So this is a closed stroke, right? Do we want a lighter closed stroke? Sure. Just use your fingertips. And that's sometimes called toe or touch. I call it toe. So you've got closed toe, closed toe, closed toe, closed toe, 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 closed, little meteor, right? Then one that I like quite a lot is this. If this is the drum head, let's see. If this is the drum head, we're gonna try going heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. That's with the heel of your hand. So you don't want to make a big elaborate ballet dance out of this. Just nice and easy, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's a little foreign to me, so I'm going to go this way. So I want you to practice this as well. So you've got tons of possibilities with this. So great to get those heel and toe going, and those are conga strokes. So I don't want to get too cross-cultural right now. You've got the basic strokes for the djembe, and then a couple of little conga strokes. This is enough to get started. So I want you to hop on over to the tier that we're calling the Salisbury tier, Salisbury Drummers tier, which is a local group that I'm leading now through cyberspace due to the virus. And so hop right on over there and sign up for that so that you can have weekly lessons in the great djembe drum. Thanks so much.